Okay, could we have everybody stand up real quick if you would, please, and turn to the person next to you. Get at least 2 or 3 just plus hugs and kisses, if you would. 1, 2, 3, go.
Look at
Yes. You guys hear me okay? Yeah. Microphone all right? Good. Just out of curiosity, how many of you are here for the very first time? Show of hands. Brand new people. Look around the room. How many of you have never? Let's give a big hand. How many of you have never heard me speak before? Show of hands. Look at this, Mark. I thought I was more famous than this. What's going on here? Well, anyway, my name's Jeff Roberti. I'm here from Sarasota, Florida, with my lovely wife, Joanna, who's in the back of the room. You guys have always heard what's behind every successful man?
Yeah.
A surprise mother-in-law. Now, in all seriousness, we have actually just had a ball, Joanna and I. We've been traveling now. This finishes our 7th week. We looked at each other this morning and said, we're ready to go home. Anybody have little doggies at home, pets? We're missing our doggies. We're missing our own bed. And we're excited. But I started this tour back in, I think this was April, in Frankfurt, Germany. We had a big event there, a big conference. And then went to Israel and did an event there in Tel Aviv. And then we were in, where were we? Napa for the 39 Club retreat. And then Sacramento for a big conference, and then we had the conference here in Hamilton, and there was a gap in between, and I said, hey, what's on the way to Australia? Tahiti. Somebody's got to do it, right, honey? And then we stuck around in Hamilton Island a little bit after the conference and helicoptered and landed on, what is that called, the Whitehaven Beach and the Great Barrier Reef, and tomorrow we're going to go on a seaplane, so it's just been exciting. I really enjoyed it. Steve, it's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it, right? You know, it was funny. I was getting mic'd up in there, and Joanna was helping me with the mic, and reminded me of something that happened to one of my top ladies, Cheryl Cortese. She was getting mic'd up one time. She was back behind the curtain, and she didn't realize that her mic was on, and she was getting ready to be the next speaker, and she's back there going, do I have to get undressed to do this? And then somebody goes, you're on. And she goes, can't you see I'm busy right now? So, and, you know, Steve, thank you for what you shared. It was outstanding information you shared, and we're all here tonight because we are a very mission-driven company. We're not product-driven, we're not opportunity-driven, we're mission-driven. And our mission is to inspire healthy living around the world. Matter of fact, one of the things we talked about was going back home and really focusing on our own health, you know, getting serious this summer and, you know, that own transformation and taking some weight off and taking self-responsibility for your own health and inspiring yourself before you can inspire other people. So we really love what we do. We feel we get a chance to add value to people's lives, and it's just very fulfilling and very rewarding. You know, you talk about feeling like a dinosaur sometimes, Steve. You've been around for a while. I've been with the company now. This January will be, I started back in January of 1987, and I was 12 when I started, by the way. But, you know, it's funny, I was doing a call not too long ago. You know, everything's now on social media. There's Skype and there's Zoom and, you know, all these things you can do. So one of my top distributors over there in the UK, Emma, had me on one of the calls over there. And they're really up and coming. I mean, just really booming over there. And she had hundreds of lines linked in at once, and she had me on the call, and she goes, today we have Jeff Roberti on the call. He's calling in from Florida. He's the top earner, one of the highest earners in the industry, and he's been doing this before we were all born. I'm like, well, let me turn up my hearing aid here. But I realized I was 24 when I started. I was a 24-year-old ex-broke waiter. Anyone been a waiter? Waitress? Anyone ever been broke before? Can you relate to that one? And I found myself where I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. I was sick and tired of being behind on my bills in life. my promises in life, to myself, to my friends, to my family. And I guess the word I'm trying to share with you here tonight is I was dissatisfied. I was looking for some things to change. And I'll never forget, a friend of mine cared enough about me to share with me this opportunity, this mission, this company. And it changed my life. I remember going to that very first meeting. At first I was a satisfied customer first, fell in love with the product, even though it was a different product. It was environmental products back then, clean water and clean air, water and air filtration products. And I got so excited about the product and was just really passionate about the product. And he said, Jeff, there's an opportunity, if you want, to have your own business, to be your own boss, to earn what you're worth. He said, instead of working for someone else and building their dream, you could come over here and start a part-time home-based business and build your dream. Something for yourself and build some residual income. So I went to a meeting up in Tampa, Florida, and I heard some stories that night, just like this. People getting results with the product. People getting results in our business. And I left there that first night where I couldn't sleep. Kind of like juice plus brain damage. I started thinking, what if? What if this really was possible? And then we had a convention, one of our leadership conferences. It was in North Carolina, and I'm in Florida. Well, at the convention, and I didn't have the money for the plane ticket. I didn't have the money for the hotel. So I drove up there, slept in the car that first night, took a shower in the gym, got a little workout in, sat in the front row with my one suit, my skinny little tie, long hair. You know, it was wet. I was sitting there, and I felt like I just had chills going through my whole body. I couldn't believe that God had answered my prayers, that this was my chance. This average person with an above-average desire had a chance to go out there and do something that really matters, that really counts, and to grow as a person and become more. Anybody ever meet a guy named Jim Rohn or heard of a guy named Jim Rohn? The late, great Jim Rohn. I remember when I met Jim, he said, Jeff, you can have more in life if you become more in life. And for things to change, you've got to change. And for things to get better, you've got to get better. He said, your products work. Your marketing system works. The biggest variable is the you part. Really, this is a course in personal development cleverly disguised as a business. You really, as you grow, your business grow. I was sharing at the luncheon today, grow me, serve you. You know, the two spiritual needs in life is growth. When you're growing, aren't you the happiest in life when you're growing? And contribution. The Bible says, find a way to serve the many, for service to the many leads to greatness. Another good old boy that I studied back then that I love, the late, great Zig Ziglar. You ever heard of Zig? Zig said, you can have everything you want in life, Steve, if you help enough other people get what? What they want in life. And that's how our business works. So just to kind of speed up my story, I came home from that first conference crying tears of joy. I had the music on, and I was just crying, I was cheering, and I said, thank you, God, for answering my prayers. And you know how we all have a list of excuses in life? Sometimes a limiting belief or a story that holds us back. My advice to you tonight is divorce your story and marry the truth. I decided to tear up that list of excuses. The past does not equal the future. And I said, you know what, Jeff? Don't look up line, don't look down line, look in the mirror. If it's to be, it's up to me. And I decided that I was going to step up and be a leader, set the example, be the best distributor in my organization, and lead by example. So I started to go to work on myself, started sharing the product, sharing the opportunity, building up an organization, and it started to grow and to grow and to grow. And a lot of times, people will start our business, like myself, out of desperation, because I was looking for some things to change. Today, I do it out of inspiration. You know, it's a totally different why. You know, it's like some people can start because they're enlightened, or they might be frightened. You know, they might be a health challenge or whatever it is, while they're getting on our product. But for me, I'll never forget that very first conference and what it meant to me, and being able to get involved and somebody caring enough to share this with me. So, just a couple stories I want to share with you here tonight. And you know, I'm not a sophisticated trainer. You can see, here's my journal, and I train out of my journal, everybody online there. And you know, I have a few notes that I've taken, but really, for me, people say, you know, Jeff, do you get nervous before you come up here? I saw a list. They listed the top 10 fears people have in life. What do you think the #1 fear is people have in life? Speaking in public. And as I read down the list, number 7 was dying. People would rather die than speak in public. How crazy is that? So here's what I do. Let me help you guys with this. Anybody have a little bit of fear coming up getting in public? I mean, Steve, wow, great speaker, very polished, very nice. Peter, great. Then you get me. And here's what I did. I asked God, I say, here's what works for me. God, please flow through me and give me the words to serve this room. And I shift from my head, it's not about me, and I shift to my heart. And Joanna will catch me when I'm working on what I'm going to get come up. She goes, oh, you're in your head again. Get back in your heart. She'll tell me. I'll point it out. But when it's sincere and from the heart, you can never go wrong. And that's what's always worked for me over the years, is to get out of your head and get into your heart. The longest journey in life is sometimes from the head to the heart. So just to share with you a quick story. Because majority of you, how many haven't heard me before? Show of hands in the room again. More than half, over half the room. So just a quick story. We all talk about how to do the business. You know, the how part. Well, come on, guys. It really is a simple business. Steve explained it very eloquently. It's fruits and vegetables, whole food nutrition that's concentrated into capsule form or a gummy form. We have our complete powder. It's convenient. It's affordable. It bridges the gap of what we should eat and what we do eat, right? And it bridges that gap. It gives us a rainbow of these fruits and veggies in our bloodstream, and it helps to strengthen your immune system. Here's the thing. People say, well, you know, Jeff, I don't get it. Well, what part do you not get? The fruits and vegetables or the capsules? Help me here. Oh, that was supposed to be a joke, guys. Let me scratch that one off. It didn't work too well. It's not that difficult. It's really a simple business. The how part, is what I'm trying to tell you, is the easy part. Now, it's not an easy business. It does require some consistency, some discipline, some hard work, some leadership. You've got to grow as a person and inspire other people. But it's really a simple business. The how part's not what I want to talk to you about. It's the why. Why would you do this business? Well, when I started the business back 28, 29 years ago, I told you I didn't come from a wealthy family. And my why, if you can peel the layers of the onion and get down to a why, Linda, that makes you cry. I mean, really, why are you doing this? It's got to be emotionally charged. It's got to have a compelling future. It's got to be something that really drives you to get up early, to work late. Reasons come first. The how part's the easy part, the why part. So here was my why in the beginning. And maybe some of you can relate to this story. Didn't come from a wealthy family. Oldest of 3 boys. And I'll never forget sitting in the back seat of my mom's car. My mom was a proud woman, but it wasn't the nicest car. Had a few dings, a little bit of rust on it. And she acted like it didn't bother her, but I could tell deep down inside it hurt. Because you know how other people talk. And I just sat in the back of that car and I used to say to myself, you know, Jeff, if someday, if I could, I would like to help my mother and father. If I someday, if I could, I would. I'd like to help my grandparents. If I could, I would. I'd like to be able to give more to my favorite charity or help my family or help my church, whatever it is for you. So I went to work and I had a compelling why that made me cry, really emotionally charged. So I went to work and started building this business. And my first goal was to not buy a car for me, was to go out and buy my mom the car of her dreams. And I found out after a few years of working really hard, Peter, and reinvesting back into the business and going day and night, really building this thing up, I found out I was in the position to buy that car. That why, that first little bottle of Juice Plus, those little capsules, and what it could equal for you and your business. What is your why? For me, it was to get my mom a new car. And I found out what that car would be if my mom could have any car of her dreams. I found out my mom had very good taste, by the way. So, without her knowing, I went out, Peter, and I purchased this car. I was in the position to pay cash for it with one bunch check. The business had grown that big. And I put all the bells and whistles on it. You know, every option, every feature, got the gas card, paid for the insurance. Look, if you're going to shoot a king, kill him. Don't wound him, kill him, right? If you're going to do it right. So without her knowing, on Christmas morning, now I live down in Florida, she lives up in the mountains, and on Christmas morning I had this car sitting outside, and it had a big red bow on the hood. You know how you have the morning dew on a car? And the sun was coming up, and it was shining on this car. It was beautiful. And I'll never forget, my mom came to the door. She saw the car. I told her how much I loved her. I handed her the keys, and I saw these tears of joy running down my mother's face. I thought I was the one that was giving. The floodgates were open. I was the one that was receiving. And that was the why. How many of you would you like to be able to do that for your mother or father? How many mothers would like your son to do that for you? I was speaking at a conference in the United States. There must have been 5,000 people at the conference. And my mom was in the audience. And I had a chance to acknowledge her in front of 5,000 people. When you get a chance, hi Mom. When you get a chance, you take it, right? And I shared this story. I'll never forget after the conference, she pulled me off to the side and she goes, Jeffrey. When I'm in trouble, it's Jeffrey Douglas. I need to talk to you. She goes, I wish you wouldn't tell that story. You make us sound like we were so poor. And she said, by the way, that car's almost 10 years old now. And she said, and don't forget, you only have one mother. I can't afford two the way this is going. But now I've been in the position, several cars, a home in the mountains, a home on the beach, just story after story after story. I had somebody ask me, I was in Israel beginning of this trip, and I had one of the young Gen Yers. He said, Jeff, was it worth it? Was it worth the price that you paid in the beginning, those first 3 to 5 years or 10 years, giving up some of the partying and going to the beach and the goofing off? And I said, no, Steve, so I could say yes for the rest of my life to things that were truly important. And I said, I'll tell you a story. About 3 years ago, my mom called me, and my grandmother was 95 at the time, and my mom called me up in tears, and she said, Jeffrey, our nanny, is very ill, and she wants to stay in her home. She doesn't want to go to one of those, and she said it's expensive. I said, Mom, you don't even have to ask. Absolutely. And it's funny, I just got a call today. She's 97, 98. And she's down to her final days. And I told my mom, I said, you know what? She's going to a better place. And Juice Plus, and they gave us the opportunity to keep her house. So was it worth it? Yes, it was worth it. Sorry. You know, the other one for me, maybe some of you can relate to this one. I mean, how many of you have lost somebody you love from stroke, cancer, heart disease? Somebody that you love and care about. I lost my father at the age of 46. It was back in 1985, Peter, just 2 years before I found this. And you talk about a defining moment in your life, something that really changes your life. It was the worst day of my life when I got that phone call at 4 o'clock in the morning that my dad had had a massive heart attack and there was no second chance. I'll never forget it. And I thought to myself, Jeff, it's not what happens in life, it's what you do with what happens in life. It's not the event, it's the meaning you give it. And I turned the worst day of my life into the best day of my life because I gave it an empowering meaning. I grew from that. That pain, the deepest pain that you go through sometimes in life, don't you grow and become more and have more capacity to give and serve and help someone else if you get out of yourself and truly use that to serve others? So I took that and I grew from that, and it was a defining moment in my life. Now today, Peter, I'd give it all back, all the money, all the success, if I could have got my own father on Juice Plus, because it just might have saved his life. I mean, we all know what happens, Steve. You start taking Juice Plus, what happens? How many of you eat more fruits and vegetables since you've been on Juice Plus? How many of you drink more water? How many of you have at least thought about working out in the gym? I mean, it's been a while. But doesn't it start a snowball process? Doesn't it really? I mean, we have, when I came in, I'm Italian, Jeff Roberti, Italian background. I thought whole food, Steve, meant the whole pizza pie. I thought that was the whole food. But today, this awareness now of whole food nutrition, fruits and vegetables, and all these things have created this snowball process for thousands and thousands of people around the world. It's truly inspiring healthy living around the world. So it's something we're very proud of. We're very mission driven. Why I do the business today is totally different what I did in the beginning. In the beginning, I told you it was out of desperation. I was looking for some things to change in my life financially. Today, it's out of inspiration. And I'll tell you why I'm here today. How many of you are brand new? Show of hands again. I'm here for you. I'll never forget where I came from. Look, we could be in our ivory tower on the beach. Life's not about me, life's about we. And never forgetting where you came from. And now it's about paying it forward. Now it's about not only having the success, but the fulfillment. You ever meet people that have a lot of money and they're successful, but they're not very fulfilled? You get that? And they're not happy? Success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure in life. We love what we do. We get to add value to people's lives. And here, why we're here tonight, Joanna and I, is to pay it forward. You know, there's the science of achievement, and then there's the art of fulfillment. And here's what I want to share with you is this. We have something here that is mission-driven, that is cause-oriented. We're making a difference. We're making an impact. It's something bigger than you and something that you can be involved in that has true meaning, fulfillment, and purpose. We're rich in relationships, loving connection, growth, and contribution. It's very rewarding beyond just the financial reasons to be involved in this business. It really is like a big family reunion when you come in. So here's my message. For those of you that have been searching, like I was in life, welcome to the Juice Plus family. Welcome to the company with a heart. Welcome, you have found a home, is my message to you. So a couple other things I'll share with you here is a lot of people will say, well, you know, Jeff, how do you sell Juice Plus? You know, how do you sell this, or how do you market this? And I'll tell you, the number one reason people succeed in our business is the word belief. Now, how many of you stepping into your common sense quarter would agree with this? Don't you feel that you have to believe in the product and feel strongly about our product before you could share it with anyone? Yes or no? Yes, yes. How many are not going to raise your hand no matter what I say tonight? Let me just see if I got the right room here. How many of you like the idea here in Australia of making money whether you work or not? Is that exciting? I would like to stay at home and work in your underwear, right? Some of these Zoom calls and Skype calls, you're like, whoa! How many like for your children to have wealthy parents, right? So we got something here that you can build it up over the next 3 to 5 years and have residual income for the rest of your life. But here's what I found. You've got to believe before you can lead. Steve has belief. He has passion about our product, about our mission, what we're all about. So you got to get sold on it yourself first. You got to become what I call the product of the product. It's not what you say, it's how you feel about what you say. Wouldn't you agree with me that people communicate more with feelings than they do words? Right? You can get it, you can feel it. There's that emotional sincerity. So you got to believe in the products. How many of you take the capsules every day? How many take the complete? How many have tried the gummies? I got to give you a little warning about these gummies. I remember when these first came out, and I thought, oh, what a great idea, Peter. To take it and make it a vegan-friendly little healthy gummy with the fruit and veg. So I buy the gummies. I'm at a conference in, I think it was in San Diego. And I buy some Juice Plus gummies. I fly back to Florida. I'm sitting at my desk, got my little operator headset on. I'm smiling and dialing and doing customer care and following up. Crack open the gummies. Those are delicious. Seal it back up, right? 2 seconds later, I'm back in the gummies. Within 2 hours, I ate the whole bag of gummies. Now, if you want to cleanse your system, try that. If you want to clean out the pipes, try that. If you want a moving experience, try that. So I have to ration the gummies. I can't have them on the desk when I'm making follow-up, fortunately, in the follow-up calls. But the gummies are great. I mean, the product is where we get all this energy and all this passion from. And that's where you get your confidence when you're talking to people. And we sell results. We got great ingredients, great science, great research, but the results, the story, that emotional sincerity of what the product means to you and to others is what really sells out there. The other thing I will share with you is this. How many of you ever get somebody in your business and they say, you know, Jeff, I'm not a salesperson. You know what? Yeah. And you know what I say to them? Great. You're just what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for someone to go out there and be some slick salesperson and sell Juice Plus. We share. We gift. It's the gift of health. We share the product. It's not selling, it's sharing. How many of you have ever eaten at a great restaurant before and told someone? Have you ever seen a great movie and told someone? How many of you got paid for that? Anybody? This is referral marketing. If you refer somebody, they get the product shipped to them directly from the manufacturer. The company ships, collects, accounts, and pays you a referral fee for anyone you refer onto the Juice Plus products. And then you can also, some of your customers will be your best distributors. You can build a team and earn a performance bonus off your team. So you're sharing. Here's something I'll share with you tonight. It's not who can I sell. It's who do I love. Who do I care about? Who can I help? You get out of your head and into your heart. The only reason somebody won't talk to somebody, they have the fear of rejection. I hope you get past the fear of rejection. Shift from here to here, and it's not about you, and you truly are putting their needs ahead of your own and adding value to their lives. It's not an opportunity, it's a responsibility. When you know what you know about Juice Plus, how could you not share it with someone? We were in Hamilton Island, Peter. We were talking to a 24-year-old waiter there. There's some waiters can make you a lot of money in the business, right? We were talking to the waiter. Joanna piped up and said, I want him, he's mine. I told him, look, I have a gift I'd like to share with you. We were asking questions, making a connection, building some rapport. Instead of just having a meal, we made a friend. And we shared the gift of health, the gift of prosperity with him. So you're the messenger, not the message, right? You get out of your head into your heart and you share this wonderful gift of health. It's sharing and gifting, not selling. Is that clear? That's very simple. If you get that down, then there's no fear. You know, here's the other thing that I found. As your income starts to grow, you have success in our business, Mark, it's a measuring stick. The bigger your income becomes, the more impact you've had, the more lives you've touched with our product and our opportunity. So it's a measuring stick to see the difference that you've made in the world. Last couple principles here. Here's something that I got to share with you tonight. The number one reason people fail in our business is this. They start to listen to negative people. Belief is the number one reason I believe people succeed. They believe, they feel strongly, they have that voice of authority, they've got confidence, they come from a position of strength. But how many of you have any negative family members? Anyone out there? If you can get past your family, you'll become a millionaire. My mom's still waiting for me to get a real job. But you know what I'm talking about, guys. Your neighbors, your family, your friends, your co-workers. They tell you your product's no good, your business is no good. I had friends back then telling me I was no good. And fortunately, I had a really good word in my vocabulary. And if you want to write down one note, it's this. Next. It's okay. Next. Don't worry about the ones you can't sell. What? Worry about all the ones you can't see. How many people live in just Australia alone? You guys still with me? 20 million? 22 million? You know, here's what I found myself. I was saying too much to too few. I was actually down on my hands and knees begging them with the results and the studies and the things that we have with juice. They should be begging you for the product. It doesn't mean I don't love them. It doesn't mean I don't care about them. But I look at it like I got this big, long line of people from here to infinity. Someone's not interested, move to the back of the line. And I keep moving forward. Anybody heard of this thing? There's a state down in Mexico called Sinaloa. Safety in numbers, law of averages. Say less to more people. Don't worry about the ones you can't sell, worry about the ones you can't say. Here's what I have found. I can't say the right thing to the wrong person. And I can't say the wrong thing to the right person. There's just safety in numbers. Now today with social media, it's a lot different with all the exposures and curiosities and things you can use as a tool to build your business. But I'm talking about when you're just talking to people, sharing this gift with people. You know, we have what's called the 3-foot rule. Anybody know what the 3-foot rule is? 3 foot? If somebody gets within 3 foot of you, 3 feet of you, 3 foot of you, 3 feet of you, you talk to them, right? And now when I was working in Japan, on the subways, it was the 3-inch rule. But it was, you know, it's the 3-foot rule. You talk to them. They have a pulse, they're breathing, talk to them, make a friend. Here's something that really helped me in the beginning. Joanna asked me to share this one tonight. The sale, when you sell the product and get somebody as a customer and they say yes, that feels really good. That's the result. The cause and what you really get paid for is talking to people, sharing the story. Whether they say yes or no, it doesn't matter. You keep moving forward. So here's how it works. How do you manage the no's? Well, here's what worked for me in the beginning. I was very fortunate to understand this. The word next, safety in numbers, law of averages, batting average, all these things. Let's say I had to talk to 10. And out of 10 people, I only got 1 to say yes. That felt great. How did I manage the other 9 no's? Doesn't feel too good. No, 9 of them. What I did, as an example, let's say on the one sale you made $50. Instead of dividing the sale by 1, divide it by 10, and for every person you talk to is what? It was worth what? 5. You guys can help me here with the math. 10 divided by 50, right? $5. The sale was the result. The $50 commission sale, 1 customer. The cause and what you really got paid for was talking to people. It was worth $5 a person whether they said yes or no. So let's say you're on the phone with somebody and you're telling them all about your mission and your product and your opportunity and you're all excited and enthusiastic. And they say, you know what, Jeff? That product's no good. That business is no good. This thing sounds like a scam and you guys should all be put in jail. I'd say, thank you very much. I got your $5 anyway. Hang up the phone. Doesn't matter, right? You don't buy their story. The greatest teacher of all times, when he was putting together his organization, not his top 5 or his top 10, but the top 12. And he was teaching and training them to go out into the streets for 2 or 3 years, 2 by 2, word of mouth to tell the story. To share the story with the whole world. And he said, 1 minute, gentlemen, before you go out there, not every home is going to be to your accord. Make sure you shake every grain of sand from your shoes before you leave. When I read that, not every home to your accord, every grain of sand from your shoes, what does he mean by that? Well, you get 1 grain of sand in your shoe, and it starts to rub a little bit, you could get a little blister, couldn't you? Mm-hmm. Get a couple, 2 or 3 of them in there, it could get infected. It could cause an infection. You could lose your foot, your leg, or it could kill you. So what he meant by that is it doesn't matter whether they buy your story, what matters is what? Whether you buy their story. Because they're going to get you. That's the #1 reason people fold up their tent and go home and say, oh, this is not for me. Because they get a little bit of negative. So now, so you got to get past it. Does that help a little bit for some of you?
Yeah. Yes.
Here's another one that helped me. I had distributors in my organization, my team, that I found myself, I wanted it more for them than they wanted it for themselves. They wanted me to lift their weights. I was always pushing them. Anybody have distributors in your organization that you feel like you're always pushing them, trying to get them to do this? It's easier to give birth than raise the dead. This helped me. I realized somebody new. Fresh, warm market, good positive attitude. What's this? Look, remember, 80, 15, and 5. 80% of the people you bring in your business are going to do it sometime, part-time, or no time. And that's okay. You love them and accept them for where they're at. 15% will play at a little higher level. 5% will be the ones that really see this and take it serious and step up and not treat it like a hobby, but treat it like a business. What if it wasn't? What's it cost to sign up here to have your own virtual franchise, your own mission-driven business?
137.
A little over 137, isn't it?
Yeah.
What if it cost $137,000? How would you treat it? Would you show up? Would you bring people to the meeting? Would you bid at a conference? So you got to get serious and treat it like a business. The other thing is this. You got to be really careful with getting the negative language, the negative self-talk. I've had people come up to me, distributors in my organization, you know, Jeff, Mr. Positive, Mr. Enthusiastic, I can't get anyone to buy this product. I said, okay, is there anything else I can help you with? She goes, did you not hear me? I can't get anyone to buy this product. I said, okay, is there anything else I can help you with? She goes, are you making fun of me? I said, no, you just told me you can't get anyone to buy the product. Well, if you think you can or you think you can't, right? You're putting that out there. You're portraying that. You guys have heard the law of attraction, the secret, what you put out. I had another lady come, she goes, you know, Jeff, I'm a very happy person. I said, well, you might want to tell your face. I wouldn't buy Juice Plus from that. I mean, try to smile. Lighten up, brighten up. Your sales will brighten up. Oh my God. I mean, you've got to, you know, show up in a peak resourceful state. I mean, do you think Steve could sell the product like that? No. We have some fun with this thing too. You know, don't get too serious with this thing. So what I'll close with is this. I know we're running late on time and I want to be very respectful for everyone's time. I had some challenges in 2012. Do I have enough time to share this real quick? Okay. If I have your permission, maybe another 15 minutes? In 2012, I had a very life-changing event. And a lot of people have asked me, Steve, Mark, Peter, wow, Jeff, you seem so different the last couple, 2 or 3 years. What's happened? And I said, well, back in 2012, God got my attention. I was humbled. We were down in the Bahamas. I don't know if it came from the coral. We were down there snorkeling, drift snorkeling. Anyway, long story short, I think I got cut up, got some bacteria that got in my blood, and I had what's called toxic shock, where your vital organs go septic. And I was in ICU, and I was less than 10% survival. Whew. God, get your attention.